Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 3rd. Or today's Tuesday. Sorry, I mix up the dates. Today's Tuesday, October 3rd. It's 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly. It's got a couple of things here to update. Looks good. Yeah. Last thing, and it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be on our way. All right, so Zoom link right here. All right, cool. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to continue making their way in. Hey, everyone, morning. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything here. Post this up over here as well. Looks good. All right, as people continue to join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the weekly time frame. This typically, we always run out of time, so I'm going to do this right now before we get too deep into the session. So there. So there goes a weekly, go down to the daily. Down to the 8-hour. Go down to the 4-hour. So I mean, it's pretty smooth once once you hit the higher time frame, it's pretty smooth because a lot of them line up already. So 4-hour, 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Going down to the 30-minute. $15-minute. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. Let's go down to the 1 minute. All right, so we got liquidity sitting above right here. This is a normal liquidity level. So I mean, this might get hit pre-market at 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. We had a lot of time. We have basically a normal liquidity up there, and then we have a riskier liquidity down below. If you guys are not familiar with liquidity, basically we marked up these high lows that have not been tested yet. Basically, the blue ones are going to be high lows, which are a bit weaker. The red ones are going to be higher highs and lower lows. So with that being said, odds of price bouncing when price gets to this point is very likely, where it's going to come down, hit it as a support and bounce off, right? Versus, so if you're going to look for a trade like that, I would recommend waiting for price to come down, bounce off, and then retest. That's probably what you want to look for. Vice versa, these ones in the blue are typically high lows on the higher time frames. So this will probably, break through and come down and do something like that. Sorry, guys, 1 second. It's like fall weather is like getting to me. I have a cold. It's annoying because I won't have to trade. I hate being congested. Anyways, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd. It's 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. We've marked up liquidity over here. The closest higher level is going to be at 33,524, and the lower level right here is going to be at 33,435. So this one down here is going to be stronger. This one right here is going to be weaker, or this one's going to be normal, and this is going to be riskier. So it's up to your guys' preference. If you guys want to take either one, market's going to open in a few minutes. So let's see, from current price to there, about like 300 pips. So it might hit pre-market, it might hit at the last, couple minutes before market open, but we'll see. We have liquidity marked up right there. And now, that's pretty much it for now. Now looking over here on the clean chart, we're looking for, actually, let me check the news real quick. So let's refresh all this here. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 65% long. This indicates that 65% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and sell. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 157 points pre-market. Other than that, let's take a look at news real quick. We had news over here at 5 o'clock. It was low impact. So there's really news at 5:30 and 5:55. 5 o'clock was Fed Bostic who was speaking, but that's not necessarily a news event. So we had news over here at 5:30 and 5:55. I'll go and mark that up real quick. So 5:30, which is right there. And 5:55, which is right there. So we had 2 news events right there. We have more news events right here at 7 o'clock, JOLTS job openings. If you guys are not familiar with JOLTS job openings, this is going to indicate how many jobs are open for this month, basically brand new jobs, how many quits, and the IBD, TIPP, economic optimism. So we got a lot of high impact news right here at 7 o'clock. I'll mark that up over here. And that's pretty much it. So looking at current price, we have a buy signal right here. So if we get 2 green candles after open, that's going to be the breakout V2. And then we'll look for a possible maybe momentum counter scalp from there. But yeah, pretty much for the most part, market is going to open in about 50 seconds. Our current direction of breakout V2 is going to be for a buy. So, we'll see what happens here. But again, we just got to take it candle by candle, because we're not sure how this market's going to open. You can see right here, it's pretty flat right now. When the market actually opens in the next couple of minutes, we'll see if this starts to move a bit heavier. Another reminder, guys, this is NFP week. So, just be a little bit more selective with your trades and just be smart about the decision that you guys decide to make. So I'll try to be I'll try to update you guys as much as possible when the market moves, but we'll see. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment is bearish. It's 65% long. Fundamental bias is bearish as well. It's negative 160 points. Short-term technicals, I'm going to assume it's bearish. Long-term technicals, I'm assuming it's bearish. All right, so we have a bearish bias for today. That doesn't mean that you should avoid breakout. We'll see what happens. But anyways, market is now open. Go ahead and mark up opening price right there, but you guys can see it's moving very slow. and it's starting to pick up. So you guys can see it's very unpredictable. Like, what will happen on market open. We had basically looking for 2 green candles right here, but if the candles are too big, you might want to be a little careful with the breakout V2. It looks like liquidity probably got hit. It did. So liquidity went straight to TP right there. I don't know if anybody caught it. It like literally spiked up, hit TP, came back down. Yeah, you guys can see this crazy movement right here pre-market or on open. So this is kind of what we were trying to be careful about, because obviously you guys can see how price is moving here. And this is just typical for NFP week. Market would be super dead and all of a sudden it picks up. We have 1 green candle here. So technically if there's another green candle, that would be the breakout V2. However, this candle here is pretty big and it's a pretty like random candle. So I think I'll probably hold off on the breakout V2, guys. I know we're still testing it, but just being smart about things. When the candle moves crazy like this, and it, like, for example, if it spikes up like at the last second and it's green, I probably wouldn't want to take that trade because it's very unpredictable, like how it's moving. If it was a smooth moving candle, then yeah, maybe I would take it. But this right here, it's a lot of uncertainty with like the direction of price. Huge wick on the bottom. So it does not look like it's going to close green. So there's no breakout V2 here just yet. So we're still looking for 2 back-to-back green candles. If we don't have those back-to-back green candles, then we'll possibly be looking for a sell if we do get a sell signal here. However, if we do get a sell signal here and we get 2 green candles, that will be the momentum counter scalp. So depending on which strategy you guys are looking to apply, there's a couple different options here. Also, if we get a sell signal here, this may be the intraday scalp. So just keep that in mind, guys. The trend meter down here is shifting very quickly. You guys can see there's not really much of a direction right now. Price is just bouncing back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the opening price over here as well. Oh, wrong tool. Mark up opening price right there. And we got some market right there, 6:30. And then right here, 8 o'clock. I'll come back to that and we'll take a look later. But right now, obviously, you can see like very erratic price movement right here on open. The ETR is not, it's decent. It's at 18 right now, 19 currently. So the volatility is there. There just isn't much of a direction. It's kind of like what was happening yesterday. So we just got to sit and wait for this here to come to us. Nice. So it looks like Daniel over here took the liquidity on the second touch right there and it went straight through. Yeah. The first touch right here hit already. So depending on when you guys took it, it hit like literally on opening candle. Price came up, spiked up, hit TP, came right back down. So I'm not sure if anybody caught that aside from Daniel, but it looks like Daniel took the second touch and it went straight through. So nice work, guys. Still no trades on my end. I'm looking for this breakout V2 to come up. If it doesn't come up, it's completely fine. I'll start looking for next opportunity. But anyways, if this candle here closes green, does not look like it's going to. No, it's not going to. All right. So still no entry there for the breakout V2. Hey, Kenny, morning. Morning, Surin. Morning, Dan. Morning, Madhu. Morning, Marcin. Morning, Karen. Morning, Maria. Morning, Ruin. Morning, everybody. Sorry, I just saw the chat right now. So yeah, guys, market is kind of crazy right now, as you guys can see. It's, I would be very conservative right now, guys, because there's just no direction. If price was climbing up, then, perfect. We'll look for buys like the day or whatever. Or if price was climbing down, we'd look for sells. But right now, it's just a back and forth movement. It's not really a good area to be trading it because what we call this is we call these whipsaws. So price comes up, whips up, comes back down, right? Price comes down, huge wick right there, shoots right back up. So there's not really much of a direction here. It just keeps whipsawing back and forth. It's not really a good time to trade because if you enter a trade like that and it whipsaws on you, it can easily hit your stop loss before coming right back up and hitting your TP. So just be smart about the trades that you guys decide to take, guys. It is NFP. So, the riskiness of the way that the market's moving is typical. This isn't like something random. Like we typically see this during NFP. Yesterday was probably one of the weirdest days though, because of the blocky movement. At least here, it's still a little blocky, but it's moving a little bit smoother. So again, guys, if this candle here closes green, we have 1 green candle. If we have a second one, this is going to be the breakout V2. But you guys can see there's not really much of a direction. It keeps going back and forth. So I don't think we're going to get that second green candle on here. We still have 20 seconds, so I mean, we'll see. But I mean, for the most part, you guys can see how blocky everything's moving here. It's still moving a little. Yeah, I just saw this big spike right here. It's still moving pretty blocky like it did yesterday, which is not necessarily a good sign. Because when it moves blocky like that, there's typically going to be issues with connectivity. Like, you know, your stop loss might get missed, or there's just a lot of different like crazy things that can happen if say like a data feed just kind of goes off for a second, like how it's kind of moving here, and it goes past your stop loss or goes past your TP. So what I do recommend is if you guys are taking trades, make sure to manually watch it, because if it doesn't close you out, you got to manually close it out yourself. You know, I've traded during these types of markets. This was like typically how it moved during COVID, but I haven't seen it move like this since then. So, all right, guys, we have a sell signal right here. So there's two different opportunities that can come up. We either get two green candles and it'll be a momentum counter scalp, or we get two red candles and it'll be the breakout V2. So let's look out for that there. Again, like I mentioned, the direction here just isn't very clear. It's not very clean at all. So it's a little difficult to see, you know, what we would be taking here, but we'll see. So if we get two red candles here, this will be the breakout V2. I mean, if you guys are looking to take it, I would probably only go for like 100 pips or something, or, you know, move your stop loss and profit as quick as possible, because it's just a lot of uncertainty with direction of price. So for example, right here, if this candle closes red, it's going to be the breakout V2. But you guys can see how far of a push down it is. So if you want to take it, I probably would only go for like partial move, or like as soon as it goes into profit, move your stop loss in profit. So this has to be a red candle. I mean, it's got a lot of time on it. It's got about like 20 seconds left. So it's got some time for it to come back down. But you can see that again right here, we rarely get those back-to-back candles. Price just keeps going back and forth. And it does not look like we're going to get an entry here for the breakout V2. Gotcha. Yeah. So Daniel over here mentioned that there was a high-low momentum scalp that came up. So I'm going to have to go and document that real quick. Let's see, the ATR right here is 21. You know, it actually didn't even play out. If we're doing a one-to-one with the ATR, it actually didn't play out. I'll come back and take a look at it once it's done. But as of now, it has not played out. It's still technically running. Oh, and also it was an intraday scalp as well. Yeah. Thanks, William, for calling that out. Yeah, you guys can see that it's just not a good area to trade in right here. So I'm glad I didn't take any of those trades there. Because, well, I mean, if you took the original high-low momentum scalp for 100 points or 100 pips, it looks like you would have been fine, of course. This right here would not be a momentum counter scalp, guys. I don't think there's going to be a momentum counter scalp today. I mean, if this closes without a buy signal, then it's going to be a momentum counter scalp. But if it has a buy signal, then it's not going to be an entry. So you got to watch it to see if you want to take that trade there. And it looks like this is a momentum counter scalp right here if you guys are looking to take it. See if I get into this and get in on time. It's pushing up. Lasted right through. Full TP right there, guys. So I got in a little late. It kind of pulled back a little bit, and I got in for the counter scalp. So if you guys got into the counter scalp that happened right here, we had a sell signal, two green candles. So this is basically what we've been looking for, guys. We're looking for two following candles, right? So for the breakout V2, we had a sell signal here. We were looking for two red candles that didn't come up. Right here, we had the sell signal and we had a counter move basically. So two green candles right here, pushed right through and went straight to TP. So I took that right there. I got in a little late, but I mean, it still played through. So I'm gonna go over here and just document this real quick so I can show you guys the profits from it. It just happened super quickly, guys. Like literally you have to watch it. And as it pulled down and it turned red a little bit, I entered when it came back up and it went straight to TP. And then I had to manually pull it out. Let me see. Actually, it looks like my TP actually closed me out, but it was like too quick of a move. So if you guys didn't take it, it's fine. You guys would have to like literally be watching the charts, because if you guys weren't watching it, you would have totally missed it. Like I was watching it, I missed it for a second. When it came back down, I got in for a little discount, shot up and it hit my TP. So let me go here and just put this in the Discord real quick. And I'll take a screenshot of my profits as well. So there's no other entries here right now. I'll have to come back and redocument the other trades, the intraday scalp and the high-level momentum scalp just for our spreadsheets. I didn't take any of those trades. The only trade I took here was the momentum counter scalp. I was still looking for the breakout V2. Technically, this would be the breakout V2 right here. Again, I don't think I'm planning on taking it because of the current market movement. It's just very unpredictable with how it's moving right now. So this right here, let me see, would be the breakout V2, guys. If you guys are looking to take it, I'm not in this position right here. I just don't like the way it's moving. You guys can see how it moved prior to entry. You guys can see I'm glad I didn't take it because this happened right here. So probably a really good decision that we decided not to take it, because so whenever you guys see like this crazy movement right here before the entry, and this entry came really late too. This entry came up at 6:41. So I'm going to document this too. I didn't take a trade, so I'm not taking, like, it's not an official trade. It's just one of the trades for our documentation. So let me go over here to the spreadsheet. And yeah, if you guys look at the notes here, so whenever the trade loses, it's typically like crazy movement back and forth before entry, right? Crazy movement on entry, that's exactly what you want to avoid. Right here, we have this crazy movement on entry. So the entry came up right here, but it was so unpredictable. Price kept moving back and forth. And then also, whenever the range is bigger than the TP stop loss, I typically don't take it because it's like due for a lot of manipulation here. You guys can see, obviously, price is being highly manipulated. I'm not sure if the Fed's still speaking. He was speaking at 5 o'clock, but he should be done by now. Fed Bostic spoke at 5 o'clock. Other than that, there's not really much else going on. Let me check CNBC real quick. Yeah, there's not really too much, breaking news right now, aside from treasury yields. So I would, like I mentioned earlier, guys, just be careful with your entries and just be very selective about which ones you decide to take. I already had like an idea to take a buy here because of the initial entry, right? So like earlier this morning, we were looking for a buy, and then price kind of faked out down here. And when it swung back up, I was like, okay, the momentum counter scalp looks good. And then I saw the sell here for the breakout V2, and I was like, this probably doesn't look so great. So I didn't take it, obviously. But yeah, this is NFP for you guys. Typically, NFP is going to be very unpredictable and very choppy like this. NFP is like a hit or miss. Like I mentioned yesterday, guys, NFP is either a really good week or it's a really bad week. It looks like right now it's more of a bad week right now because Monday was super blocky movement. Today's again blocky movement, but a lot of like unusual price movements. So let's see. Shiv's asking, which one are you talking about, Shiv? Because the momentum counter scalp is 1025, the breakout V2 is 2525. So they're different. Everything else is a 1-to-1. It's just the momentum counter scalp that's 1025. Everything else is a 1-to-1. It's either based off ATR or it's based off a fixed 25-25. Anyways, let me go and just update a couple things here. So let me go over here and I'm going to update this too for the, let's see. So this right here was the high-low momentum scalp and also the intraday scalp. I didn't take either of these trades here, depending on what your TP stop loss would have been. If you did the traditional 1030, it would have went straight to your TP. That would have been a pivot scalp. But if you guys did a based off ATR 1-to-1, as you can see here, this is why I don't really like using 1-to-1s, especially when I scalp, because a lot of stuff like this happens where there's just like some spikes of volatility throughout the movement. So I'm going to go over here and just copy and paste this over here. So that was a loss and that was a loss as well. Let's see, we got news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. There's no other entries for us right now. It's getting closer to 6:45. I think all the entries that we were following today, they all kind of played out. So momentum counter scalp, this was a win. I'll just copy this over right here, same screenshot. So for the strategies that we're testing, looks like I'll come back to that. And the breakout V2 over here did not play out. So, all right, let's go back to the chart real quick. I'll go and document the trades later once we have some downtime. So once we get closer to news over here at 7, I'll start documenting the trades. I just don't want to miss any trades while we're waiting. I'll Obviously, you guys can see how crazy the market's moving, but I would probably be a little careful. Oxford is asking if there's a V1 pending. Yeah, it looks like there's a V1 pending over here. It's a little bit of a mix. Well, I mean, it's still bearish. So the 1 minute and 5 minute are kind of neutral bullish. Everything else is still bearish. So technically, yes, this would be a V1, but I think the candle here is just too big. Yeah, it's way too big. Yeah, it's just I mean, technically you could take, if you really wanted to take the trade, you could take it. But again, like you guys can see how big this wick over here was. I probably wouldn't take it myself. But you guys can see there's a wick on both sides. It's just really like, if you guys ever see stuff like this where there's big wicks on both sides, like see there's a big wick on top and then there's a big wick on bottom. This is like unspoken. This isn't really a strategy, but it's like something that you typically will see. If you see a lot of like big wicks on both sides, there's a lot of uncertainty with the direction of price, right? Like if you didn't have this big wick right here, that'd be perfect. You're like, okay, you have a big wick here, so price is weakening, it's going to come down, right? Right here, you have a wick on both sides. You're like, okay, which direction is price actually going to go? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of little things when you're looking at the charts that you can't really teach somebody because it's something that you learn through experience. Like you can always tell somebody to be careful for big wicks, but this right here is like a clear example. You see the big wicks on both sides and it's like, okay, which direction is price really going to go? And you can see here that price is just ranging now because eventually it's going to break out. It's going to range and then it's going to break out down or it's going to break out up. So a lot of uncertainty with regard to price direction. Looks like the momentum pull, there was a momentum pullback scalp that like lined up right here. I think it probably would have hit already. Actually, no. So a pullback right here to the 40 entry would be at the 40 mark right here. So there's actually no entry yet for the momentum pullback scalp, but it looks like it's setting up for one right here. Let me go and mark up the levels real quick. All right, so we'll just start from down here. 30, color that black. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Mark up all these levels right here. I don't think price will come this high, but mark them up anyways. All right, so we got a lot of levels right here. Yeah, so there was an entry right here. I don't know if anybody saw it. So this was a momentum pullback scalp that I was telling you guys about. So price pushed up right here. We had a buy signal. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into it. I was kind of too late, but it did set up right here. So you see how price pushed up, pulled back down, pushed back up. This red candle right here was a retracement. So your entry would have happened right here at the 50 level. So I don't know if anybody was able to catch that, if anybody was marking it up themselves, but this right here would be the momentum pullback scalp entry. So this is like the only official strategy that we're looking to apply. The momentum counter scalp, breakout V2, intraday scalp, high-level momentum scalp. Those are all testing strategies right now because we're trying to figure out what we want to use as you move into the fall season. The volatility is higher here, but this momentum pullback scalp is a staple. I think this will work all year round. So if you guys want to focus on like one specific strategy, the momentum pullback scalp is probably the one, because this strategy works pretty much all year round. It doesn't matter if volatility is low or high, because we look for volatility to pick up anyways. So like, for example, right here, price pushed up, we had a buy signal, price came up, retraced, there was no entry down here, price pushed back up, retraced, and the entry would have happened right there. So yeah, this is like the only official strategy that we're technically looking at. I mean, I have a whole plethora of strategies. I have like 30 different strategies you guys can apply if you like. They're all very similar, but this one's more of a strategy that kind of combines different concepts. So instead of just looking for momentum, like technically right here, you could have taken a pivot scalp. There's a buy signal right here. Price was above the pivots, trend meter was green. You could have taken this for an intraday scalp entry if you really wanted to, and it still would have hit TP. But with the momentum pullback scalp, we're looking for this initial push, retracement, and then continuation. So yeah, I don't know if anybody was able to see that, but that was pretty much the momentum pullback scalp entry that we were looking for. Unfortunately, I was too slow in marking up the zones, so I missed it, but it's okay. Still waiting for, the next opportunity to come up here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my profits so far. Yeah, I'll just take a screenshot of my profits for the momentum counter scalp I took earlier. But other than that, I haven't taken anything. I'm just being very cautious because of the market movement. As you guys can see, it's probably best that you guys be cautious because like right now, price is overextended. So obviously we have to look for another sell signal. So we need the sell signal to come up, provide a buy signal, and then come back up from there. So that's kind of what we're looking for now. We're looking for the retracement. Price is obviously overextended from this low right here up to here. It's up 1,300 pips. So I definitely wouldn't mess with it yet. Look for at least some sort of retracement before looking to take anything there specifically. All right, so my first trade for the week, pretty decent. I got some slippage over here from TFF, but that's a given. And I'll take my individual screenshots later. I don't really need them right now. All right, so there's no other entries for us right now, guys. We're getting closer to 7 o'clock, which is news. We need a sell signal here to come up. Once we get that sell signal, we'll have price retrace down a little bit. And then once it retraces down, we'll look for that buy signal, push back up, retrace, and continue up. That's where our entry is going to happen. So there we go. We got the sell signal here pending. We just need to wait for that to close. Once we get that, we're going to look for the next buy signal. And then from there, we'll look for a possible entry. Let me see Wesley over here. Let's send this to Wesley. Let's see, Wesley's asking. Oops. Sorry, guys. There's no trades for us right now anyways. So there's no entries for us right now, guys. So don't worry. I'm just doing some side stuff right now because one of our guys can't get into the group. Sorry, guys. There's no interest for us right now, so just get this over with real quick. So, all right, looking at current price right now, we still can get that sell signal. We have news coming up right here in about 4 minutes. So there's not really too much for us to look at. So I'm kind of just doing some side stuff right now, helping other people on the Discord. But yeah, we're gonna wait for news to pass here. It's very high impact. I don't recommend you guys take any trades. I'll update the spreadsheets meanwhile too, because we have like 4 minutes. It's a lot of time to like not do anything. But yeah, so right now we have news coming up at 7 o'clock. We have Joel's job openings. This is going to indicate how many jobs are open for August and then how many quits. And then down here, IBD, TIPP, economic optimism. So just a lot of inflation news right there. If you guys saw the news on CNBC and just like all throughout, they're mentioning how the recession is coming, right? They've been saying that for like the past 2 years now, that the recession is coming. I feel like we're technically in a recession, but they just don't want to admit it. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see, the fundamentals right here are currently now back to like bearish neutral. So I'm going to just change this a little bit. Bearish neutral, like -6, you know. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 64% long. This indicates that 64% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So typically we want to do the opposite and sell. Looking over here at the technicals, we currently have a mixed, okay, so short term is now bullish, shifted up to the upside. So we got a bit of a mix here. Not really much of a bias. I mean, it's still kind of bearish, but for the most part, it's pretty mixed overall. So other than that, let me see if I can. All right, anyway, so looking at this over here, guys, I'll go and just post up my profits for the day. So the only trade I took for today so far was the momentum counter scalp, this trade right here, right? My profits for that right here, let me just copy this over. So here are all of my accounts. Here's my first account. This is my funded engineer, locked in 1,050. This is my FTMO, locked in 1,060. Second FTMO, 960. Third FTMO, 1,060. My 200K account, 2020. This is my funded engineer second account, 520. This is my personal account, locked in 315. This is my first TFF, locked in 866, and my second TFF, same profit, 866. So those are my profits so far for the day. I only took one trade, and that's all I took for this week as well. Other than that, we don't really have anything for us to take here at the moment. As you guys can see, we don't have that sell signal yet, and we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. So we'll see what happens here when price starts to pull through. Nice. Looks like Oscar, Daniel, Vince, a lot of you guys here took the V1 at 652. So you guys took the V1 that happened right here. Nice. Double top right there, double body. So double body and double wick. Basically double confluence right there. Looks like a couple of you guys there took that trade and went straight to your TP. Right there for a 1030 split. So nice work, guys. Look at this huge candle. This is why I was telling you guys not to trade right now, because the Joel's job openings just came out. So let's see what's good right here. Huge candle right there. Hopefully nobody was in a buy. I'm pretty sure nobody was, because there's nothing there to take for a buy. But damn, look at this candle. Huge candle right there. So guys, this is why I prefer not to trade news. Like I try not to trade news at all, because crazy stuff like that happens. The crazy thing is that the news was positive. So Joel's job openings is positive. Joel's job quits was positive. IBD, TIPP, economic optimism was negative. So I'm expecting correction back up. I think this here was all manipulation. Everyone was expecting it to be bad, and they just kind of sold off right here. Or what happened was a lot of people were expecting it to be good, and they did the opposite. So right here, you might see this make a climb right back up. So I'd be careful with taking any trades right now, because this candle is so huge. So you might see a correction. You just might see candles come up and fill. And you can see right there, it's starting to fill right now. This is just a big manipulated spike. Price is probably going to fill back up. There's probably a variation V2. Yeah, if anything, I'm probably going to see this get filled. Like this whole red candle is probably going to get filled. It's going to go right back up. And then from there, it's going to either continue climbing or it's going to come back down. But I wouldn't mess with it. I would just wait for a little bit and let this kind of smoothen it out. Yeah, Marston said, yeah, pivot chart all over the chart after news. Yeah, it's not really worth the risk, guys. I just sit tight, wait for you just wait for the market to stabilize because it still needs to react to the news. This is the first reaction, and then this is like the aftermath, right? So just wait for the market to kind of stabilize a bit. Once it stabilizes, then start looking for something. But right now, it's probably not the best time to really chase anything because you don't know where price is going. So you can see right here, price is still kind of bouncing around a bit. Here is the clean chart. Let me go and start marking up structure. So we got structure up here. We got structure down here. I think that's about it. We had some structure right here too, I guess. It's just a messy market. I don't know if I want to draw that whole structure right there. Let's do this. Okay, so this is actually better. So you guys can see right here, I drew up structure. Price is still kind of just bouncing around. We had a fake out down below, fake out above, came back down. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another fake out here. So this looks like a double fake out. Looks like price came down. People thought it was going to correct back up. So it came down right here, faked out, came back up, faked out right here. Basically retested the previous higher high. You guys can see the zone I drew here. Zone started from right here and it faked out again. So basically a double fake out here, fake out below, fake out above, another fake out below. And I mean, we'll see what happens from there. But again, guys, I'd probably be careful if you guys are looking to take anything. You know, I'm always going to look out for your guys' best interest. I'm not going to tell you guys to take something risky because it's not exactly the best time to enter these trades. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said nice. It hit those zones perfect. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering how do I mark up these zones here, all I do is I use my high-low indicator. And then all I do is I go to the nearest higher highs and lower lows. So for example, right here, I had a higher high. I drew a zone right there. That's the resistance. Price came back down below here. We had a low. This low is now adjusted. So the low is now right there. So I basically go to higher highs, lower lows. I'll draw the zones there. And if they move, then I'll make some adjustments. But that's pretty much how I draw a structure. And then again, right here, there's another higher high in between. And that's where I drew this, the other zone in the middle. So if you guys have my indicators, it makes it very simple for you guys to mark up structure because you don't have to really do any work. You're just looking for the higher highs and lower lows. And if you want to just have it where you don't have to like, so let me just take this off real quick. That's the old indicator. If you add the higher high, the K2 high low indicator, you can even turn it on where it's just higher highs and lower lows. Like that, right? And it makes it so easy. You just draw a structure right there. So like, for example, if you just had a clean chart, you didn't know where to mark stuff up, you turn on my high-low indicator. So this is basically what a clean chart looks like, nothing. You turn on the high-low indicator, you're like, okay, this is where structure should be marked up. Like my indicator does all the work for you. So you don't have to do anything. There's no guesswork there. It's not like, oh, is this a high? Is this low? It's like, no, you turn on the indicator and it tells you exactly where it's at. So now that we have structure drawn up right here, we'll kind of just wait and see how price moves. If it decides to climb down further, then that's completely fine. We'll start looking for some sells. We're just looking for these pivots here to confirm. You know, once the pivots have confirmed that we're looking for sells here, then we'll start looking for sells. But right now, we just don't have that yet. I think at the end of this candle, we might. We're looking for this red pivot to cross over all the other pivots. So, see, we got some team profits over here. So we've got Kip over here, got Ninja Trader down, nice work, Kip. Total profit of approximately 2,100 per account, looks like. So nice work right there, Kip. I got to figure out how you did that so I can do it myself too. Here's Barty over here as well. Nice work, Barty, on passing your challenge on TFT. Yeah, Barty's been killing it. The only strategy Barty's been using is liquidity. So he basically just looks for liquidity whenever it comes up and then he takes them. And I think he's passed like almost 3 challenges now. So he's come a long way. I know Barty's been around for a while. And his consistency has just been great. So, all right, there's no zone, there's no downwards trend here that's been confirmed yet with regard to the pivots. You guys can see the pivots here are still starting to shift. We need this red pivot here to cross over above all the other pivots. Once it does that, we'll be able to look for a possible entry here. But at the moment, we just don't have anything just yet. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start updating the spreadsheet over here real quick. So yeah, for this right here, the momentum counter scalp was a win. So the entry right here was for a buy. It was for a buy. Everything kind of lines up. I don't even know when the entry came up. Entry came up around 640. It was for a buy. It was a win, 100 pips, like that. And so the counter scalp's been on a pretty hot win streak right now. If you guys can see over here, it's been winning for about 4 days now. 4 days back-to-back wins for the momentum counter scalp. Looking over here at the breakout V2. Breakout V2 did not play through, I believe. Yeah, it did complete opposite. So this here was a buy. 10-3. The entry for this came up at, let's see, came up about like 642. So it came up kind of late. Whenever the breakout V2 comes up that late, it's typically not a good entry, usually. But it's all good. That's how you learn from it. So, I mean, the overall profits are still great though. So if you look over here, it doesn't have the best win rate, but the overall profits are still proving to be, you know, worthwhile if you want to take this type of entry. You just got to take like every entry basically, because it balances out throughout the week. So that right there was a loss. Let's go back to the chart real quick. All right, so we still don't have that confirmation yet, but we are getting close to it. So you guys are not missing out on anything here. I'm just updating the spreadsheets real quick. So again, if you guys are not familiar with these spreadsheets are pretty useful. Just go to the Discord, go down to Trading Journal. If you go to official trades, it has all my official trades here, all the breakout V2s, momentum counter scalps, like pretty much all the data here. If you guys want to determine whether you want to, you know, apply the strategy or not. The ETR for this, I believe, was like 19. I could be wrong. Let me go check real quick. Yeah, the ETR for that right there was 21, actually. Okay, 21. 21. 636. $636. It was for a sell. Was it a sell? Yeah, it was a sell. It was a sell. Loss negative 210. We've been documenting these trades for a while, so I'm pretty quick with just updating it now, which is a good thing because it does take some time. All right. So, all right, so I got that all documented right there. Let's see, we have a possible entry coming up soon. Let me go and mark this up real quick. I probably hold off a little bit because you guys can see how overextended price is. Yeah, it's probably not the best time to make entry right now, guys. So I'll probably look for the next momentum to come up. It's only 7:10, so we still have a lot of time here, guys. There's no need to force or rush anything at the moment. I mean, technically there is an entry here that's lined up, but you guys can see how like the market kind of died down a bit. So we had a sell signal right here. Price came down. This green candle right here would be the retracement. So price came down, retraced up. Technically, the entry could have happened like right here or right here, depending on where you wanted to take it from. But again, I wouldn't take it because it's overextended. You guys can see if you measure price from this area up here, typically when I look for overextension, I go to the previous swing high, which should be right here. And then you move it down, it's dropped almost 2,000 pips. So it's not really a good time to chase right now. I would just wait for another momentum signal, wait for it to stabilize, and then we'll look for entry from there. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said market's overextended. I need a new sell signal, retracement buy, then a sell signal. Yeah, I agree. Maddie said sentiments dropped to 60 long. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people here just got wiped out. So if you guys remember the sentiment from this morning, it was 65% long, right? So a lot of people who are on the long side, they pretty much just got wiped out when that news came out. So the news came out right here. It was about like 65% long. And you can only imagine if you're holding on to a position here and it went negative 2,000 pips, you have to pull out or you got stopped out at that point. So a lot of the people here who are on the buy side, they just got wiped out of the market. And that's why I like looking at retail sentiment, because it kind of tells you a storyline of like people who get wiped out of the market, who get stopped out, who's winning, who's losing, etc. So yeah, you definitely don't want to be on the majority side, because if you're on the majority side, you know, you're going to feel the pain, especially when the market's going against you. So, all right, we have the buy signal right here, and we'll see where this ends up going. Yeah, Daniel mentioned there's a high low momentum scalp right here. So there's a lower low buy signal that broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2 right there. However, the candle was pretty big. So it's not one that I would necessarily take. Yeah, it's just a little too big. If I mark up my TP stop loss and the candle's bigger than my stop loss, I wouldn't take the trade, because if it retraces back, you know, you're going to be in some trouble. So yeah, I mean, solid right there. And the ATR is extremely high. If you guys look at the ATR right now, it's currently at 32. I've never seen it this high in like, I can't remember I've seen the ATR higher than 30, but yeah, the average candle size in the past like 14 minutes is 30, which is crazy. I mean, obviously this big candle right here, but the average across all the other candles, it's a pretty big, it's a big difference. So yeah, so when the ATR is this high, this is actually really risky, because if your stop loss is 300 pips, you can easily get stopped out before it goes to your TP, or it can go straight to your TP. It's like a double-edged sword, because the volatility is so high that you might want to adjust your TP stop loss to like kind of make, you know, make room for the increased volatility. But I mean, it's fine. We'll leave it as is right now. But I think this is just it's an outlier. The ATR is just really high right now because of the news that happened. I don't think that's going to be normal. I think the norm for fall season is about like 20 to 25. Anything above that is like it's definitely out of the norm. Anything below that's definitely out of the norm as well. So we're officially in the fall season. As you guys can see, the volatility is very high compared to how it was moving during the summer. ATR during the summer was like 10 to 15. Now it's like 20 to 30. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, I don't think we've ever seen ATR above 30 since we started using it. I agree. It's crazy. It's a very volatile market, which is good. It's fine. If that's the case and the market stays volatile like this, we might just have to adjust our TP stop loss. You know, the thing with the market, guys, is that you'll never master it. You'll never master the market. The market's always changing. So you have to be able to adapt and adjust with the market. And that's why we're doing this testing. So we're testing all these strategies here to see what works right now, because obviously this type of market that we're currently in isn't exactly the easiest to trade, right? The momentum counter scalp looks amazing. It's like been killing it. It's currently at 86% win rate. And we've been testing this since August 7th. So basically for like 2 months now, it had a pretty amazing win rate. So, I mean, we'll continue to test these strategies. You know, I'm always looking for different ways and more ways to make money in the market. I'm always looking for just like little things to change to our strategies that we're already applying, because those little things make all the difference. All right, we currently have a sell signal here, guys. So we're looking for price to provide us an opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp. The other thing that I liked about the momentum pullback scalp, guys, is that you're able to cut your losses if necessary, right? You can't really do that with the other strategies. I mean, technically you can, but it's not the same. But again, yeah, price is a bit overextended, like Maddie said over here. So I'll see what the entry looks like. But again, like price just keeps dumping super heavily. Yeah, so it's already down 1,000 pips. You can see right here, because the ATR is so high. ATR is currently at 33. I thought it was going to slow down a bit, but it just keeps getting higher and higher. Yeah, this volatility is like, It's not COVID volatility, but it's close to it. This is like post-COVID volatility. Let's check liquidity over here. I don't know if anybody caught liquidity. Liquidity got hit right there. So if you guys took the first one, it got hit right there. If you guys took the second one, it like literally went straight to TP. It blasted like right through it. Let me scroll back a little bit and let's see if there's any other liquidity here. All right, so I don't really have anything here marked up. Daniel said he has one at 33,351. Let's just take a look real quick. So I don't have one on the weekly, daily, nothing there. Let's go down to the 8-hour. I might have missed one. Yeah, you're right. So there was one right here. Daniel, sorry, I missed that one. Actually, no, I think it was already touched. That's why, because it already was touched right here. Or actually, that it looks like it would have been valid. So that might have been the one that you were talking about. Looks like there's another one down here too. 4-hour. Yeah, I think that's about it. So that might be the one that you marked up, Daniel. I wasn't able to get that one earlier. So if you took the earlier one, there was like another liquidity right there too. There's about 2 of them. So there's one liquidity right there, one right there, and the one above. Basically all liquidity for today hit. And we're now looking for a momentum pullback scalp. The volatility right here is just a little too high, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be looking to take anything right now. We might have to make some adjustments for our TP stop loss because our stop loss right now is currently 25. If the ATR is 33, it's easy for it to just swing up and, kind of wipe us out before it gets to the TP. So if you guys do want to take the trade, I'll mark it up right here. We do have a setup that's currently setting up, it looks like. Yeah, so depending on where this candle closes, if it closes below this black line, the entry would be right here. Okay, yeah, so yeah, depending on where this candle closes, it has about 20 seconds left on it. It's either going to be at this point right here, which is at the 70 mark. The volatility is not that bad. It looks kind of bad, but it's not as bad as it might look. It just looks bad because it's like moving so quickly. But I think this entry here would probably be a decent one if it can fill. So entry be right there at 70. If you guys are looking to take this out, this is going to be the momentum pullback scalp. So yeah, again, the entry would still be right there because this candle closed above it. Yeah, so you guys can see it closed really close. If you guys got in right there, it would have hit your TP already. But the next opportunity would be right there at the 70. It's kind of hard to tell because this thing closed at the very last second. But this would have been the basically the optimal entry. If this closed just slightly below the black line, could have had the entry right there, it would have went straight to your TP. So we'll keep following it. But again, like we mentioned earlier, guys, price is a bit overextended here. But I think it's going to continue to be overextended, like what we were talking about earlier because of the increased volatility. If each candle is moving like about 300 pips, it's going to be overextended almost every time. Because 3 candles, that's like 900 pips already. Anything above that's going to be close to 1,000. All right, so we'll keep following it and we'll see. It looks like we might have to look for another setup because price is obviously dropping further. So if it drops further, then you just would need to look for another setup here. Or if it pulls back again right here, it'd just be another opportunity, which would be at this 60 level right here. Yeah, you just have to wait for it to reset. Or if you guys wanted to take it, I mean, technically you could have taken the trade right there, but I probably would wait for it to reset because of obviously this movement here. The volatility is just too high. And if you get in too early, you get caught up in this position. I didn't feel comfortable taking it. Well, good thing the market's picked up. We just have to make some adjustments to our If anything, we might make adjustments to our TP stop loss, maybe do like a 30-15, which should be cool because it'll be a 1 to 2 at that point. Yeah, but I'm going to look for another reset of this movement here, because obviously this movement here it's kind of shot right at this point. If you were to measure from, let's see. So let's measure from here. This lower high down to here. Yeah, price was a bit overextended. It was overextended about 1,620 points or pips. 162 points, which is equal to 1,620 pips. So you guys can only imagine how far extended that is. Yeah, Maddie said he sat out of as well. Today's just one of those days where you just have to be very careful about, I mean, this whole week in general, you have to be careful about your entries because, I mean, you can get in at some points and still get lucky, but I don't want to trade off luck, obviously. Yeah, Maddie said the retail sentiment's changed from 59 to 60 long. You might want to lure in some more buyers, might get a fake out and retracement back up. Yeah, I can see that too. So let's take a look at the sentiment real quick. Sentiment is currently back at 60. Looking at the fundamentals real quick. The fundamentals are down 260 points. And CNBC just reported this right here. It said Dow loses 200 points as yields rise to their highs of the day. There's just a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, guys, that you want to be very careful about because there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to like if, you know, price will kind of fake out or do something crazy. So if you guys took the entry earlier, I mean, it looks like it's about to hit TP. Oh, it already did actually. So this is the risky entry that we were talking about. So see how price came down? This entry never filled. So this candle right here pushed back up. The entry would have happened right here at this point. So when price pushed up right here, it would have filled, went into some drawdown right there, and then when it came straight down to TP. So I mean, if you guys wanted to take the momentum pullback scalp that I drew up earlier, it was right here, but I mentioned it was risky, so I decided not to take it. Maddie also had some input to the price was overextended, so he decided not to take it as well. As you guys can see, I'll market these entries for you, but I don't necessarily, you know, I don't necessarily tell, like, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to take it if I'm not going to take it. So if I'm taking it, I'll tell you I'm going to get into this position, but I didn't feel comfortable about it, so I didn't decide to take it. But I'll still mark it up for you. So looks like Dan over here actually took it. So Dan caught it and he's glad it didn't knock him out. So he actually held on to this position, went to some drawdown, and it came back down here. So, I mean, if the volatility stays this high, I'll just make adjustments to the TP stop loss. Instead of having it at 25.10, we'll do 15.30, which will be a 2-to-1 risk reward, which it still works fine. You guys can see over here, it still works perfectly fine. It's like nothing really changed. It's just the TP stop loss was a bit wider to accommodate for the market volatility. So you guys can see like the strategies don't really change very much. It's just the TP stop loss. It's like pretty much the same strategy. You just make this TP stop loss a little bit wider to you know, conform to market direction, market movement. So we'll see if the market continues to have a high ATR like this. If it's above 30 for like the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks, then we'll make some adjustments. Right now, I don't think it's necessary because a lot of this stuff is just movement based off the news. But yeah, I'm gonna, well, we'll see. I'll be testing this pretty much daily, and we have to make adjustments. We'll make adjustments. It looks like Nathan caught it too. Nice work, Nathan. Solid work right there. Yeah, exactly. Kip said there are probably 100 plus Kodi Kai strategy entries per day in the fall, but our system isn't about taking hundreds of trades. Rather, it's about taking one good trade with multiple confluences and stopping at some point. Yeah, I agree with Kip 100%. You know, more so about quality over quantity. If you guys apply any of my strategies, there's going to be a ton of entries for you to take here. Like, for example, I'm just eyeballing right here. So right here is this could have been a pivot scalp. This could have been an intraday scalp. This could have been a pivot scalp. What's called this right here would have been a momentum pullback scalp. If you guys are familiar with that strategy, you have an opposite signal, and then you have a pending order just waiting right here to be filled, right? So you basically, when this trade comes up, you have a pending order right there. So as soon as it comes down, it fills your sell stop, and then it goes straight to your TP. So, I mean, I've been trading for a long time. I have a ton of strategies here that you guys can apply. But, you know, for me personally, I'm more so focused on quality entries versus quantity, like Kip said. So you guys can learn any strategy on our website, and I'm pretty sure any of those strategies will make you profitable. You just have to stick to the strategy and you have to stick to the game plan. And they'll work out for you. And then once you get better, you can always add on more strategies versus so I feel like the biggest problem with a lot of traders is that nobody can stick to like one thing. For me, I've been trading momentum for like years now, maybe over 7 years, close to 10 years. And momentum is like literally what I think works the most. It works in all market conditions. So it's not like I don't trade support resistance, I don't trade supply and demand, I don't trade any of that stuff. I just trade momentum. And yeah, you know, as long as the market's volatile, it'll work very well. So, and all you have to do is adjust your TP stop loss based off like volatility. Yeah, exactly. Kip said pivots, high low, intraday, triple confluence, liquidity, momentum pullback, scalp. Yeah, Kip says he counts about 20 entries a day or today. Yeah, no, definitely. I did see a whole bunch of entries here too. Like we had one right here. If you look at basically any of these momentum signals, you can kind of see where they come up. So like right here, for example, we had a buy signal, price pushed up. It retraced right here. Entry would have happened. So this red candle retraced, pushed up, retraced. Entry would have happened right there, full TP for a momentum pullback scalp. Again, right here, we had a sell signal, price pull down, push back up. Entry would have happened right there, full TP. So yeah, it's just up to preference, guys. Anyways, we're looking for a buy signal here. We're looking for price to retrace up, and once it comes back down, we'll be able to look for, you know, further entry. But yeah, we just gotta wait for something here to play through. There's just nothing for us to take right now, guys. We need to look for that retracement. Once we get the retracement candle, we can start looking for entry and continuation. But I mean, right now we're just waiting. So it's 7:30 right now. Let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at. I got to update my trade for today. So I only took, for the month of October, I only have one trade so far, which was the one that we took earlier today. The momentum counter scalp. So I'm just going to copy this over real quick. Put this over here. All right, so I have one trade for the month so far for October. So since there's nothing for us to take here right now at the moment, what I'll do next is I'll update our stats for the year so far. So let me just check the calendar, or let me check this. So I'm just looking for a buy signal. Until a buy signal comes up, there's not going to be anything for us to take. So what I'll do here is I'll just add this over real quick. I'll just add this here. So like 15, 8, 19, 4, 1900, 23. All right, so I'm just going to add this to our data over here. So this is pretty much now we have up until September. So we had 115 buys. We had another 15 buys. So that's 130. We had 70 sells. We had 8 sells for September, 78. 154 wins. Plus 19. My math sucks. I'm just going to type it in. 154 plus 19. 173. We had 21 losses. We had 4 losses in September. So I'm going to add that to, let's see, 25. Total profit, we had, okay, 23,330 plus 1,900. So 25,230. 25,230. Total trades, we had 75, so 175 plus 23, 198. All right, so I'll just do the math there. So we had 198. I'll do 173 divided by 198. All right, so we had is math right? I feel like my math was off, but whatever. We're at an 87.3 win rate, which is, I mean, I think it's still pretty good. 87.3% win rate for the year of 2023. So for this year so far, we had 173 wins, 25 losses, total profit of 25,230 pips, total trades of 198, with the total win-loss ratio of 87.3. So I just added the September data over here. And I mean, September was pretty decent. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty decent. I think it was pretty good overall. But yeah, as you guys can see, it kind of tapers off as we get later into the year. We started off the year pretty strong though. So we started the year off over here in January with an 88% win rate. Then it went to a 92% win rate for February, then an 87%, then 90, and April was 89, May was 100, June was 91. You can see as we get into summer, it kind of dies down a little bit, 88. August was actually a bad month for me. I had 68% win rate. September last month, 82% win rate, and then hopefully October will be pretty consistent as well. So got all the data right there. We just have one trade for October so far, which is that momentum counter scalp. Other than that, looks like the volatility here has kind of died down a bit. ATR is now at 27. The candles aren't moving too much. We don't have a buy signal yet. But again, you know, we're just waiting for opportunity here. So we have a pending buy signal right now in this specific candle. If this here closes, we'll look for another sell signal. So again, the pattern that we're looking for here, guys, is we're looking for, let me do this real quick. Short-term technicals, everything is back to bearish. So we do have a bearish bias again. But anyway, so this is the pattern that we're looking for right here, guys. We have price kind of just ranging and consolidating down here, which is not what we want. We want price to actually be moving. So basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for a buy signal to come up like that right there. We want that to close, push up slightly, provide us a sell signal, and then come back down, right? It's like a head and shoulders pattern. So you got the shoulder, the head, the other shoulder right here. Once we have that second shoulder, that's where we're going to be looking to make our entry, which right there. We're not really trading a head and shoulders, but you know, the momentum pullback scalp just lines up as a head and shoulders. That's basically what it is. It's just we're looking for different parameters versus looking for like a specific pattern. But as you guys can see right here, there's not really much movement at all. The volatility has died down completely, and it's just going sideways. You can't see here as good, but if you go here to the clean chart, it's a lot more obvious here. So let's draw some more structure here so that you guys can see where price is going. Yeah, there's not really too much here. As you guys can see, it's just going back and forth. This is our clean chart. You guys can see how price kind of like climbed up a bit, faked out, came back down, tumbled back down, and then now it's just ranging between this area right here. Oh, Alan, I wanted to show you something. Well, so let's take a look at gold. So you wanted me to take a look at gold yesterday, right? If you go back to the 4-hour, look where it bounced off, Alan. Like exactly where I drew the zone for you yesterday. I don't know if you took the trade. I know you were looking to enter gold, but it did exactly what we marked up yesterday. So I saw it this morning when I was cleaning up my charts, and I was like, oh, I was going to delete it, but I was like, I need to show this to Alan first because it played out perfect. Same zone we drew out yesterday, and it bounced directly off it. So I'm not sure if you hopped into it. I know you're looking for an entry point there, but it yeah, played out pretty nice. Nice, yeah, nice work, Alan. So you guys can see I can analyze anything, guys. I don't have to like. I personally like trading US30 or YM. But I know how to trade everything. Like I can analyze whatever you want me to analyze. If it means gold, oil, anything like that, I can analyze it, and it doesn't matter the time frame either. I just don't like being on the charts all day. I used to trade on the 4-hour, but I'd have to check the charts like every 4 hours, and it was like super annoying. So I prefer to just trade from 6:30 to 8 and then just be done, rather than, sitting on the chart every couple hours and then hoping that trade goes in your direction. So yeah, Kip said he took 2 trades today, one during Asia for 3K per account, and a total profit of 0.33 profit per trade. No home runs. Yeah, exactly, Kip. And that's kind of how we trade here, guys. Like typically the style that we trade here, and if you guys have been here for a while, our style of trading is really to just pull the low-hanging fruit. So we're just grabbing profits where we can grab profits, and then we just wrap it up for the day. And then if you have multiple accounts, that's where things kind of add up, right? So for example, looking at my profits over here. So if you just add these up, so let me add this up real quick. For the day so far, I have about, I think, 9 accounts. So 1,050 plus 1,060 plus 960 plus 1,060 plus 2020 plus 520 plus 315 plus 866 plus 866. So for the day so far, I took only 1 trade, this momentum counter scalp, right? But I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 accounts. So that trade multiplied by 9, I locked in a total profit of 8,717. So I think this is basically where I want to get you guys. I want to get you guys to a point where you just have a copier, you take 1 or 2 good trades a day, and those profits just multiply. And you do the same thing every single day. So super simple. It's super straightforward, but I mean, at the moment right now, unfortunately, there's no entries for us to take right now. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:37 right now, so we still have some time. However, I'm just not seeing too much movement here happening on the chart. As you guys can see, prices just going back and forth. Another reminder, guys, if you guys are part of the Discord, or if you guys are not yet, make sure you join the Discord. If you guys are not part of the Discord and you want to be part of the Discord, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access, and you'll get access. You get the links to the Zoom to the Discord and stuff like that. And again, I just want to remind you guys. So this is another thing that a lot of people forget. If you just join the group, make sure you click where it says Kodi Kai Trades up here, scroll down, and then click show all channels. Because if you don't have that clicked, you're only going to have the active channels that you typically look at. So this is like generally what it'll look like. But if you want to have all of them, you just enable that, and pretty much all of the channels come up here. So, all right, we still don't have that buy signal yet. But again, the thing with trading, guys, is it's really about discipline and patience. I feel like that's the biggest problem that a lot of people don't have with trading. I think, I know for sure a lot of you guys here like to just sit on these live sessions and listen to me talk, because I kind of prevent you guys from taking, dumb trades and following into trades. Because typically, like, I'm a very conservative trader. So if I don't like the way the market's moving, it's probably not going to work in your favor either. A lot of times you just have to know how to read the market, right? It's kind of like reading the room. Like, people use that term, reading the room. It's the same thing, but you're reading the market. You're kind of just reading the room right now. What's in front of you is like what you want to take from it, but there's nothing in front of us right now. As you guys can see, price is just ranging sideways. Yeah, I mean, realistically, there's not really too much going on here. Price did break structure, but I mean, for how long? We'll see if it's a fake out or if price will continue dropping from there. So price is currently now below the support, but we'll see if, so there's 1 of 2 things that'll happen. So like, price is now below the support. Price is either going to continue dropping, and there's a break and retest of the structure right there. Price is either going to continue dropping lower and lower, or this is what I kind of think might happen. I think this is going to be a fake out. I think this is going to fake out right here, and it's going to pull right back up. Right, pull back right into that same zone, and then do the same thing and consolidate. I always look for worst case scenario. Best case scenario is, price breaks structure and it continues dropping. Worst case scenario is price pulls back up, fakes out, and basically stops everybody who try to chase the sell here. I like looking at worst case scenario because typically a lot of people look at the same thing, right? If you guys see structure right here and you're like a basic, like a new trader, people will typically, generally what people will tell you to do is to look for that break and retest, right? I know so many people who trade this style, where they look for price to break structure, and then as soon as price breaks structure, they look for the retest, and then they try to catch the continuation. So what happens here is they enter the trade here for a short down here. Their stop loss is like right there, right? They try to keep their stop loss tight and they try to go for like a 5-to-1 or a 1-to-5, whatever it is. And then what happens here, price comes up, stops them out. And then they try to do the same thing over and over again. So the way that I trade is I try to think the opposite. I try to see what other people are doing, and then I try to do the opposite. So for here, for example, I'm expecting us to basically fake people out. You know, I do a lot of research on like what's the most popular strategies out. A lot of people like to trade break and retest. A lot of people like to trade supply and demand. So what I do is I learn supply and demand, but I do the opposite. So people are looking for bounces, I look for continuations. People are looking for breaking close past structure. I'm looking for breaking close and fake out. And that's exactly what's happening right here. And I think that's what kind of sets me apart from a lot of other traders, because a lot of other traders, they just trade the same way. If you guys follow any other traders out there, everybody does the same thing. And that's why a lot of people don't do well, because you can't do what everybody else is doing. And right here, it did exactly what I just mentioned, right? The fake out. And there's a double body right there, basically a V1 pattern. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right back down, right? It comes up real quick to stop everybody out, like whoever's chasing the sell. It comes down real quick to stop everybody out, and then all of a sudden it comes right back down to where it's supposed to go. So what I would typically do is I would look for this fake out, and then I would look for a V1 pattern like this right here for the continuation. So see how there's another double body? There's a double body right there. Then I think, okay, this is probably the time to enter the trade. Even though I'm not going to take it, I'm just giving some explanation there as to like how I would analyze this. Yeah, definitely. William said perfectly fine. There are no entries. We do this. It's trading. Being here on Zoom is just as important in different ways as it's taking a trade. Yeah, I agree with you too, William, 100%. Daniel over here mentioned, yeah, listening to you helps us control our emotions. Is a way cheaper than paying a therapist, right? Yeah, I'm just everybody's therapist. I'm everyone's trade psychology therapist. You know, you always have to like think twice, guys. So like, it's always good to have a second opinion. Like, it's good to have your opinion, like with how you think price is going to go, or the type of entries you plan on taking. But just listening to my analysis, like say, for example, if I analyze something and your analysis lines up, that trade is probably going to hit, because you already have my backup and my support with your trade idea. If I'm saying the opposite and you're trying to do something different, you know, your trade idea is probably not going to play out, because if we're not aligned, and we don't have to be aligned, but typically if we're aligned, you have like that confluence to really give you that confidence to take the trade. So yeah, you guys don't have to trade my strategies. It's just, if you're trading your own strategy, make sure that it lines up with like either my analysis or somebody else's, because that'll give you the confidence to actually take the trade and let it play through. So we finally got a buy signal right here, guys. We're now looking for a sell signal to come back down. It's currently 744 right now, so I'm not expecting us to have, you know, any more volatility. As you can see, the volatility is dying down. But if there's any questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll look for an entry here, but if we don't get anything by like 750, then I'm probably just gonna wrap it up. Pretty satisfied with my profits for the day. Just took one trade, and I'm good with that. Let's see, taking a look over here at the Discord. If you guys have more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. We got Kip over here. So let me scroll up real quick. We have Gian over here. So Gian total profit of 2,920 for the day. Nice work, Gian. Full TP on that one trade. We have Kip here, total profit of 14,235 for the day. Wow, Kip killed it. Took two trades. Straight profit right there. We have Barty over here. Barty said, thanks for the liquidity, Sean. And God, yeah, Barty over here locked in a total profit of 7,619. Nice work, Barty. We have Francis here. Francis locked in a total profit of 1,220 for the day. Nice work, Francis. We got Vince over here. Vince took a loss. Let's see. Oh gosh, yeah, Vince's his stop loss was just a little too tight. So his stop loss was too close. Unfortunately, it tapped it and it hit his stop loss, but he would have won the trade if his stop loss was at where it was supposed to be. It's all good, Vince, it happens. And then we have Nathan over here with a total profit of 1,630 for the day. Nice work, Nathan. Solid profits there. And then we have Madhu over here, total profit of 1,414 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Madhu. Yeah, you guys did pretty good. pretty solid overall. I think what I'll do now is I'll just take an individual screenshot of my profits. All right, so we do have the sell signal here. Okay, I'll stick to the chart for right now because we do have possible entry coming up here. So the lowest level I'll enter from would be this level right here at the 10 mark. So right here, as price comes back down, we're going to look for a retracement candle, basically a green candle, and then we'll try to catch entry at the next level. So, all right, we just have to wait for this retracement here. So while we wait, I'm going to go ahead and just take the individual screenshots of my profits, since we got to wait for this anyways. So I'm just looking for a green candle here. If I get a green candle, I'll start looking for a possible entry. Let's see how far this has dropped from this point. It's not too bad, 600. All right, so if this candle here closes green, depending on where it closes, if it closes, below this level right here, it'd be at the 300 mark. Or if it closes below there, it's going to be right here at the 90 mark. Candle has about like 18 seconds left on it. Nice. Oscar said he took a sell based off my analysis and it played out great. Yeah, glad to hear, Oscar. Solid profits there for you too. All right, so yeah, we got to see where this candle closes. If it closes below this line, it's going to be at the 90. If it closes above it, it's going to be at the, okay, no green candle there. So again, we are just waiting for the next opportunity. Typical for yeah, as we get closer to like the end of the session, this is just typical how like the market was like this, and it's super annoying, but just got to deal with it. All right, so there's no buy signal yet. Oh, sorry, not a buy signal, just a green candle. All right, we have one that's pending right here. See, Daniel said, man, it looks like it's going to be almost a 400-point sell-off today. Yeah, I know, it's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy for just a regular day. I mean, there was Jolt's job openings like news, but it's still kind of like a regular day. I think the yields also went up too. We'll see. Anyways, guys, we have a green candle right here. So if this green candle closes, entry would be right here at the 80 mark. If you guys are looking to take it, if it closes above it, then it's going to be at a higher level. Looks like the 80 is going to be the entry point for that. Hasn't filled yet. If it comes down too far, then you have to reset the entry basically. So it looks like it came down right there from where it's currently at. I had to close out manually, guys. I got in at a shitty entry point. I don't know if anybody got in there. It literally came up right there. I got in and then it shot right down. I had to pull out manually because the entry was not a good entry for me. The spread was kind of wide. Spread was at 190 right now on FTMO. So unfortunately, I got caught in some of the spread right there. Let's see. I mean, I barely made anything on that. It's okay. Make $100. All right. Damn, I literally took a screenshot of my profits and now I gotta do it again. So good. All right. So let me just do this again, guys. I literally just I took a screenshot of every individual account and then I took that trade and I gotta add it up again. It's all good. I like seeing the individual accounts though. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like I feel like some sort of accomplishment when I look at the individual accounts and they all hit like nice TPs. So let me just give an update right here real quick for that trade so that we know. And this is my favorite strategy, guys. So if you guys are looking for like a go-to strategy, like I mentioned earlier, I think the pullback scalp is probably going to be the I mean, it's always my go-to. So if you guys ever want to look for one, if you want to just follow one strategy, I think this would be the one. Because you have there's so much upside to this strategy, especially being able to pull out of the position early. It's just a game changer. So let me go over here real quick, update my results. So we got another trade right there. So and momentum pullback scale. I should have just held on to it. I don't want to risk it though, because the way that the market's moving, obviously it's not the best. And it's it was getting late into the session. So it's all good. All right, so let me just post my profits real quick. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Again, like I mentioned, guys, it's getting a little late into the session, so might be time to wrap it up. Let me just compare my profits real quick. I mean, I like barely made any more. It's all good. Oops. Let me take this screenshot again. I cut out my TFF. I think overall is a pretty good session though. So guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just going to finish screenshotting my profits and then we'll wrap this up for the day. It is 7:53 right now. So I mean, there's not that much time to trade till 8. Let me go back to the charts real quick. Yeah, there's nothing else right here. Nice. Oscar caught it, CJ caught it, Sisu got it, Dan got it. Yeah, it was a quick move. Yeah, let me go and just post this up real quick. Okay, so here are my profits, and I'll take the individual screenshots. So I know a lot of you guys like seeing that as well. So I'll just take this quick screenshot of the accounts. And then we'll wrap this up. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. My goal here is to help you guys out. My goal is to help you guys out, help me out, because I feel like if I wasn't trading live like this, I wouldn't be as disciplined. So, you guys do me as big of a favor as I do you guys. Like me calling these trades for you guys is beneficial for me because it keeps me in line. Like I'm not taking dumb trades and I'm like not following to anything. Because I already know if I make a mistake, there's going to be trolls out there that are ready to say something, right? So for me, I typically like to keep it in line when I'm on these live sessions with you guys. So let me just finish screenshotting this. Second account was 180. Hopefully the volatility continues to stay pretty decent for the rest of the week. I think it will because, typically if the market's been pretty volatile early in the session, it's going to keep going. And that's a good thing for us. Damn, I got a ton of slippage on that trade. Funded engineer. Personal account. And then lastly, my TFF. All right, I got all my profits right here. Screenshot them and post them up real quick. There's no other entries, guys. I just pulled up the chart real quick to see if there's anything else that came up just in case, but I don't see anything. Second. Sorry guys, Cody's barking. He knows it's 8 o'clock because he knows his walk time. So it's about time for me to get off this live session. All right, let me just send over my profits real quick. All right, so here are my individual accounts. Okay, so here's my funded engineer account. I locked in 1,060. This is my first one. So funded engineer 1. Here is my FTMO account locked in 1,180. So FTMO number 1. My second one, 1,180 as well. This one right here, 1,180. This is my 200K account. You guys can see the green strip. This is my main account that I execute all my trades on. I locked in 2,260. Here is my second funded engineer account. Unfortunately, the second trade didn't copy, so it's all good. You guys can see here it's a blank, but it attempted to, it just wasn't able to execute. So I locked in 520 on my second funded engineer account. This is my personal account. I locked in at 384. You can see I got some slippage on the second trade, only locked in 57, but it's all good. Profit's profit. And then here are my TFF accounts. So my first TFF locked in 933. A lot of slippage on that second trade. It's all good. And then my second TFF right here, same thing, 933 as well. So those are all of my profits for the day so far. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Looks like we got a couple right here from Marcin. Marcin locked in a total profit of 224 for the day. Nice work, Marcin. So solid profits right there. And let me just add up my profits real quick, see where I'm at for the day. So let's see, 160, 180, 180. 2660, 520, 360, 933, 933. Okay, so I'm up 8,826 for the day. I just took 2 trades, took the momentum counter scalp right here, first trade, and then I took the momentum pullback scalp right here for a full TP as well, or I took it for a partial. So total profit of 8,826 for the day so far. Yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't see anything else in the chat. It's 8 o'clock right now, so it's about time for us to get off this live session. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys.